Hello guys, welcome to my channel Science to Scientist. Today we are over here to start our new chapter, that is diversity in living organisms. So let's have the introduction to diversity in living organisms. We all know that there are abundant of living organisms present on the earth. Many organisms are not identical to each others. This variety of living beings present on the earth is called as biodiversity. Biologists have identified and classified more than 1.7 billion species of organisms on this earth. Most of these species are found in the tropical regions of the world. There is a separate branch of biology called taxonomy, which identifies names and classifies different organisms present on the earth. Carolus Linnaeus is known as the father of modern taxonomy. Now, moving to classification of living things, classification presented by Aristotle. He classified animals on the basis of their habitats, that is land, water and air. But it can be easily observed that the animals that live at a particular habitat, say land, are still so different from each other. Therefore, it was decided to classify the living organisms on the basis of a hierarchy. This hierarchical classification was based on the similarities and dissimilarities in the characteristics of the living organism. Organisms have similar characteristics were placed in similar categories. So, why do we need to classify organisms? If we classify organisms into several categories, it will be easier for us to study them. It will help us in understanding how did these organisms evolve. We can also understand how different organisms are related to each other. We can learn why different organisms are found at distinct geographical conditions. So what is evolution? Over a course of time, the living organisms accumulate changes. These changes could be in their body type or size of their features. These changes allow them to survive better with the change in environment. This is called evolution. This concept was introduced by Charles Darwin. Now, primitive and advanced organisms. Primitive organisms are the ones that have an ancient or body design. This body doesn't undergo many changes with them. They are called low organisms as well. Whereas the advanced organisms are those who have recently acquired body changes. They are also called high organisms. So now moving to hierarchy classification or formation of kingdoms, biologists categorize different organisms into several kingdoms.
Talking about the classification and proposed by the scientists and which types of organism they found. First, the classification of two-kingdom classification was proposed by Carolus Linnaeus in 1758. The types of organisms were plants and animals. The five-kingdom classification was done by Robert Whittaker in 1959 and Carl Woese in 1977. Robert Whittaker founded organisms such as Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae and Animalia, whereas Carl Woese in 1977 found Monera that of two types, that is Archaea and Eubacteria, second Protista, third fungi, fourth Plantae and fifth Animalia.
The order of classification is kingdom, second phylum / division, third class, fourth order, fifth family, sixth genes and seventh species. Species is called as the basic unit of classification. Species is a group of organisms which can interbreed with each other. The picture below explains how humans are classified in hierarchical order.
Here we can see the hierarchical order of classifications classifying humans. In this, first is the kingdom, that is animals, organisms able to move on their own. Second is phylum, that is chordates, animals with a backbone. Third is class, that is mammals, chordates with fur or hair and milk glands. Fourth is order, that is primates, mammals with collarbones and grasping fingers. Fifth one is family, having hominids, primates with relatively flat faces and three-dimensional visions. Whereas genus, that is Homo, Humanids with upright posture and large brains. And seventh one, that is Homo sapiens, membranes of the genus Homo with a height forehead and thin skull bones. This is a figure of 5 kingdom classification, that is Protista, that is Eubacteria, unicellular and multicellular. Second is fungi, that is multicellular and eukaryotic. Animalia, that is multicellular as well as eukaryotic. Fourth one is Plantae, that is multicellular and eukaryotic. And the fifth one, that is Eubacteria and Archaebacteria. They are both comprised of Monera. That is Eubacteria made up of unicellular prokaryotic, Archaebacteria with unicellular prokaryotic.
Now, how scientists came up with the idea of kingdoms? The scientists divided organisms into 7 kingdoms on the basis of following criteria. First, the organization inside the cell. Second, organization of the cell in the body. And third, how organism obtain the food. In the organization inside the cell, it is of 2 types, that is prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells have no definite nucleus, whereas eukaryotic cells have a definite nucleus. In the organization of cells in the body, it is of unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular is single-celled organism, whereas multicellular is multi-cell organism. How organisms obtain their food? Autotrophs produce their food on their own, whereas heterotrophs depend on their other organisms of their food.
Knowing about classification of organisms are differentiated into 2 types, that is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes are called Monera, and eukaryotes are further divided into 2 types, that is unicellular and multicellular. Multicellular are without cells, without a cell wall, that is Animalia, whereas unicellular, that is Protista, have the cell wall. They are of 2 types, that do not perform photosynthesis, and second one, that are able to perform photosynthesis. The plants that are the cells which are rather do not perform photosynthesis are fungi, whereas the cells which are able to perform photosynthesis are called Plantae.
The classification of organization inside the cells. First, Monera consists of prokaryotes. Protista, eukaryotes, some of them use appendages to move around, such as phalangeal, that is whip-like structure, and cilia, hair-like structure. Fungi, eukaryotes. Plantae, eukaryotes, and Animalia, eukaryotes. Organization of cells in the body. Monera, unicellular. Protista, unicellular. Fungi, initially unicellular, can become multicellular in later stages of life. Plantae, multicellular, and Animalia, multicellular. Organisms obtain their food. First, of Monera, some of them are autotrophs like blue-green algae, while others are heterotrophs. Protista, both autotrophs and heterotrophs. Fungi, heterotrophs, most of them are decompressed or may be parasitic. Plantae, autotrophs. Animalia, heterotrophs. Presence of cell wall. Monera, some lack a cell wall while others have a cell wall. Protista, only some have cell wall. Fungi have cell walls. They are made up of complex sugar called chitin. Plantae have cell walls made of cellulose. Animalia, no cell walls. Example of Monera: blue-green algae, bacteria, and mycoplasma. Protista: protozoan, diatoms, and golden algae. Fungi: yeast and mushroom, that is agaricus. Rhizopus, that is bread mold, and penicillium. Plantae: flowering plants and moss. Animalia: insects and reptiles. Moving towards Archaea kingdom, the Monera kingdom is further classified as Archaea. These are microbes, that is bacteria, that can live in harsh conditions. Since they can live in extreme temperatures, they are also called extremophils. These organisms lack a cell wall. Their cell membrane is made up of lipids. They are further classified into three categories based on their habitat. These mainly comes in Olympiad point of view.
Discussing about halophiles, thermophiles and methogens. Halophiles, these are salt-loving bacteria. They live in extremely salty water. Thermophiles, they live in boiling water such as hot springs and volcanoes. Methogens, they are found in the guts of animals like cow and sheep. They produce methane gas from their dung. Seeing about the examples of Monera, the Monera kingdom comprises of bacteria and Anabaena. Anabaena, we can see here the resting spore and heterochrist. Moving to the Protista, there are slime mold, amoeba, Eugellina and Dioflagellate. Third is fungi, that is Aspergillus, Penicillium and Agaricus. The fourth type, that is Plantae, we can see here all the different types of plants and fungus. The fifth type is Animalia, that is freshwater sponge, sea anemone, earthworm, centipede, Palinarea, fly, crab spider, crawfish, sea urchin and vleg, as well as sea gooseberry.
Now, who are saprophytes? Fungi, also called as saprophytes because they grow over the organic material and survive on them. Now moving to another question, what are symbiotic relationships? Some species of fungi live in permanent mutually dependent relationships with blue-green algae. They are said to have a symbiotic relationship. For example, lichens are often found on the bark of the trees.
So now let's see the kingdom Plantae. Plants are divided into two types, that is having do not have differentiated plant body, and second type, that is having differentiated plant body. The type that is having not differentiated plant body is called Thallophyta. An example of this is Pyrogyra. Whereas the plants which have differentiated plant body are further classified into two types, that is without specialized vascular tissue and with vascular tissue. The plants without specialized vascular tissue are called Bryophyta. An example of this is moss. Whereas the vascular tissue are again of two types, that do not produce seeds and second type that produces seed. The plants which do not produce seeds are called Petridophyta. An example of this is fern. Whereas the plants which produces seeds are called phanerogams. These are further divided into two types, that is bare naked seeds and bare seeds in fruits. The plants with bare naked seeds are called gymnosperms. Example of this is penis. Whereas the plants which bear seeds in fruits is called angiosperms. Angiosperms are further classified into two types, that is dicot and monocot. Example of dicot is pea and example of monocot is maize. So this was the classification of plant kingdom.
The criteria of classification of Plantae: components of plant, presence of special tissues and presence of seeds. So these three are the main criteria for classification of Plantae. First, discussing about the components of plant, whether they are distinct or not. Second, presence of special tissues in plants for the transportation of food and water. Third, presence of seeds, whether the seeds are present inside the fruit or not. Moving to further classification of plants on the ability to produce seeds, that is cryptogams and phanerogams. Cryptogams, these plants do not have well-developed reproductive organs. The organs cannot be seen clearly as well and appear as if they are hidden. Examples are Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Petridophyta. Whereas phanerogams, these plants have well-developed reproductive organs, hence they can produce seeds. They are further classified as ones which have seeds hidden inside fruits or not, that are gymnosperms and angiosperms.
Now let us see the criteria of Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Petridophyta. The components of plant in Thallophyta, no distinct components, undifferentiated body. Whereas Bryophyta, little differentiated body, distinct components are present as leaves and stems. whereas Petridophyta distinct components are present as roots, leaves and stem. The presence of special tissues, vascular tissue. Thallophyta not present, Bryophyta not present, and in Petridophyta it is present. The presence of seeds in Thallophyta is not present, in Bryophyta it is not present, and Petridophyta it is present. Second, it is found in the first is Thallophyta, it is aquatic environment snow, and Bryophyta is found in first terrestrial ponds but need water for sexual reproduction, so called as amphibian of plant kingdoms. And the third, that is Petridophyta, they are terrestrial or dry areas. The example of these are Spirogyra, Ulothrix or Volvox. Bryophyta example is moss and liverworms, and Petridophyta example of this is ferns. Here is the examples of Thallophyta. Examples of Bryophyta are liverwort, hornwort or moss. An example of Petridophyta is Marsilia and fern. Moving to gymnosperms and angiosperms. The ability to produce seeds in gymnosperms are naked seeds, and in angiosperms seeds develop in an organ which then turns into the fruit. The existence of gymnosperm exists for long time periods, that is evergreen, whereas angiosperm grow for very time periods. The type of gymnosperms are woody and no flowers, whereas in angiosperms it's are flowering plants. Meaning of gymnosperms, that is gymno means naked and sperm means seeds. Whereas in angiosperms, the angio means cover and sperma means seeds. Example of gymnosperms are penis and deodar, whereas example of angiosperms are mustard, maize.
Now, what are cotyloderms? The seeds leaves in angiosperms are called cotyloderms. They turn green on the germination of the seeds. Angiosperm can be divided into two types on the basis of presence of cotyledons in them, that is monocotyledons or monocots or dicotyledons or dicots.
Now let us see the criteria of monocotyledons or monocots and dicotyledons or dicots. So the cotyledons, that is called seed leaves. The monocots have single cotyledon, whereas dicots have two cotyledons. The leaves of monocots are long leaves with parallel veins, whereas dicots have broad leaves with network of veins. The roots of monocots are fibrous and roots of dicots are long taproot. Floral parts of monocots are multiple of 3 and floral parts of dicots are multiple of 4 or 5. Example of monocots are corn, wheat and grass, whereas example of dicots are rose, sunflower or lily. So here we can see the images of monocotyledon, that is corn, and dicotyledon as bean. So in monocotyledon, that is corn, we can see the seed coat, endosperm, single cotyledon and leaf sheetal. The first true vessels and embiotic root. In the further stage we can see the first leaf and sheet. In this, the parallel veins we can see of the corn plant, whereas leaf sheet and fibrous root can't be seen. In another, that is dicotyledon bean, we can see the seed coat, first two leaves, endosperm, two cotyledons. The two cotyledons are further grown and we can see the seed coat when sown in the ground. The taproot can be seen. The withering cotyledons, then shrinkles and net-like veins leaves are produced.
Kingdom Animalia. Basic characteristics of the Animalia kingdom. Animals are eukaryotic multicellular organisms that lack a cell wall. They are heterotrophs, therefore they rely on others for food. They have a growth pattern. The adult animals have the specific shape and size. Most of the organisms have well-defined organ systems such as respiratory system, digestion system and so on. Most of the animals can move. They aren't stationary as plants. Animals have a nervous system, which is why they are able to respond to an external stimulus. Animals are classified on the basis of differences in their body type and design. The body cavity or column in animals contain the organs. Based on the presence of body cavity, animals can be categorized as columnate, pseudocolumnate and equicolumate. Columnate, they are true body called cavity called columnar, whereas pseudocolumate, it means false cavity. They have a body cavity which is filled with fluid, and equicolumate, they have no body cavity at all.
Let us see the figure of columate. Columates have digestive tract from endoderm. We can see here column, body covering from entoderm. Tissue layers, lining column and suspending internal organs from mesoderm. That was columate. Second is pseudocolumate. The pseudocolumn, we can see the digestive tract from endoderm, muscle layer from mesoderm and body covering from ectoderm. The third is equicolumate, that is having digestive tract from endoderm, body covering from ectoderm and tissue filled region from mesoderm.
Moving toward the first type of phylum Porifera, the level of organization, that is cells are represent. Symmetry, that is asymmetrical. Segmentation, no segments. Body cavity or column, that is not present. Presence of organs, there is no. Examples is cycon, spongilla and eusophagia. Other characteristics, they cannot move and are attached to a support. They have pores in their body. These pores form a canal system through which water and fluid circulate in the body and waste is removed. They have a skeleton made of sponginean protein and calcium carbonate hard covering on them.
This is the figure of phylum Porifera. The examples of this is Spongilla and Cycon.
Moving toward the second type of phylum, that is Chlorentetra, the level of organization is tissue cells have two layers, so called as diploblastic organisms. Symmetry is radial, segmentations is no segments, body cavity or column is no. Presence of organs is not present. Examples of this is Eurelia, that is jellyfish, and Edmea, that is sea anemone. Other characteristics, some of them live in colonies. They are physically attached to each other, such as corals. Some of live solitary, such as Hydra.
The image of phylum Chlorentetra or Hydra, we can see here the tentacle and jellyfish.
Moving toward the third type of phylum, that is Palithelemates. The level of organization, that is organs, the cell have three layers, so called tripoblastic. Symmetry is bilateral symmetrical, that is left half of the body is identical to the right half, that is it is symmetrical. Segmentation, there are no segments present, whereas the body cavity or column, no, so called as equicolumnates. Presence of organs, yes, there are the presence of organs in Palithelemates. Where there's the examples, that is Taenia solium, also called as tapeworm, or Festulohepatica, that is also called as liver fluke. Other characteristics, they have a flat body and thus are called flatworms, whereas they can be free living like Planaria or parasitic.
The third type, that is phylum Palithelemates, are Planaria, liver fluke and tapeworms. Here we can see in Planaria the eyes, pharynx, mouth and anus. Whereas in liver fluke we can see ectobellum. In tapeworm we can see scorelex, sucker and neck.
Moving toward the fourth type of phylum, that is Nematoda, the level of organization, that is tissues, so are called tripoblastic. Symmetry is bilateral symmetrical, that is left half of the body is identical to the right half. Whereas segmentation, there are no segments present. The body cavity or colon, false body cavity is so called as pseudocolumnates. Presence of organs, organ systems, level organization. And examples of parasitic worms and worms in the intestine. Other characteristics are they are also called as roundworms. Sexual dimorphism visible. Female and male worms are distinct.
The fourth type, that is phylum Nematoda, examples are Rabatins, Daculus, Ascaris, Loa Loa, Trichuris and Ectoribium.
Moving toward the fifth type of phylum, that is Annelida. Level of organization, the organ system levels, the cells have three layers, so-called trypoblastic. Symmetry, that is bilateral, symmetrical, and true segmentation present. Organs can be identified separately. Whereas body cavity or column, true body cavity is so-called as caliomates. Whereas the presence of organs, definite organs. Examples is leeches, earthworms. Other characteristics, they are found in fresh water and marine water. They have closed circulatory system.
The fifth type, that is phylum Annelida, is Nereis, earthworm and leech. In Nereis, we can see Paradopodia along the legs and tentacle flap. The second is earthworm, we can see the gentle, papillepal and anus.
Phylum Arthropoda. Level of organization, that is organ systems. Symmetry, that is bilateral symmetrical. Segmentation, present organs can be identified separately. Body cavity column, that is true body cavity. Presence of organs, that is definite organs. Example is prawns and butterflies. Whereas other characteristics, they have joined legs. They have an open circulatory system. There are no well-defined blood vessels. They have continuous exoskeleton.
The sixth type, that is phylum Arthropoda, are scorpion, cockroach, spider and butterfly.
Moving to the seventh type of phylum, that is Mollusca. The level of organization, that is organ systems, the cell have three layers called trypoblastic. Symmetry, bilateral symmetrical. Segmentation, that is little segmentation. Body cavity column, that is reduced. Presence of organs, yes, there is definite organs present. Whereas examples are snails. Other characteristics, body is divided into head, vesicular mass and muscular foot. Some of the muscles have hard external shell like that of snails, and some have internal reduced shell like that in the octopus. They have an open circulatory system, and there is a kidney-like organ for excretion.
The phylum Mollusca are Dentalium, Chition, Octopus, Lemania, Spear, Unio, Pearl oyster and land snail.
Moving toward the eighth type of phylum, that is Echinodermata. Level of organization, the organ systems, the cell have three layers called trypoblastic. Symmetry is bilateral symmetrical in large stage and radially symmetrical in adults. Segmentation, that is not present. Body cavity or column, true body cavity. Presence of organs, definite organs. Examples of this is starfish and sea cucumber. Other characteristics, they have spiny dermis made of calcium carbonate. They have a water vascular system which helps in feeding and locomotion.
The eighth type, that is phylum Echinodermata, are Echineus, Antedon, Holotherium, Opiotrix and Asteria.
Moving toward the ninth type of phylum, that is Chordata. Characteristics of Chordata, they have an notochord. It is a rod-shaped structure that provides skeletal support to the body. It is found in embryonic stage of all chordates and in adult stages for some chordates. A nerve cord that connects brain. Most aquatic animals have a finer jacal slit that allows the exit of water. They have a post and tail made up of muscles and skeletal elements that helps in balancing.
We can see the characteristics of chordates, that is post-anal tail, anus, pharynx with gill slits, mouth, brain, dorsal hollow nerve cord and notochord.
Moving towards subphylum Protochordate. Level of organization, that is organ system, the cells have three layers called trypoplastic. Notochord present in some stages of life. Symmetry is bilateral symmetrical. Segmentation is not present, whereas body cavity and column is present. Presence of organs, that are definite organs present in this. An example of this is Hydramania and Acetidae.
The subphylum Protochordata, that is Herdmania, is anterior branchial aperture, branchial siphon, ventral, posterior, full, body, aerial siphon and arterial spore.
Talking about subphylum Vertebrata, the level of organization, the organ systems, highly developed tissues. Cells have three layers, upper layer and inner layer called trypoplastic. Symmetry is bilaterally symmetrical, whereas segmentation, yes, it is present. The body cavity and column present and well defined. Presence of organ, definite organs are present in this. Examples of this are mammals, birds and fishes. Other characteristics, that they have vertebral column developed from notochord. The internal skeleton muscles can attach at various points of the body. There is a dorsal hollow nerve cord in the upper side of the back. Now let's see the difference between cold-blooded animals and warm-blooded animals.
The subphylum vertebrates are green tree frog, sardine, king parrot, forest dragon and dog. Cold-blooded animals and warm-blooded animals. They cannot maintain a constant body temperature, whereas warm-blooded animals, they can maintain a constant body temperature. They obtain heat from the environment surrounding them, and the warm-blooded, they obtain heat from the food they eat. Second, the third type, that is from cold, their body temperature can vary as per the surrounding temperature, whereas warm-blooded, they maintain a temperature of around 35 to 40 degrees Celsius irrespective of the surrounding temperature. The cold-blooded, they regulate heat in their bodies by changing colors or by being in sunlight, whereas in warm-blooded, they regulate their body heat by metabolic processes and adaptive mechanisms such as hibernation and sweating. Examples of cold-blooded are fishes, reptiles, insects and amphibians, whereas warm-blooded examples are mammals and birds. Now let us see the Pisces fish body type, heart chambers, cold-blooded, warm-blooded type, respiration, reproduction and found at and examples. First, Pisces, that is body type, they have scales or plates on their body. A muscular tail, some have skeleton made up of cartilage, some have skeleton made up of bones and cartilage. The heart chambers, there are two chambers present. The warm-blooded, it is a cold-blooded animal, whereas respiration is through gills, reproduction is through eggs and it is found in water. Example is Snipchiropius splendid, that is meridian fish, or dogfish, that is also called scolidian. The next type, that is amphibia, have smooth and slim skin. It has three heart chambers and it is a cold-blooded animal. The respiration is through gills in larval stage and lungs in adult stage, whereas it gives reproduction through eggs and it is found at land and water. Example is toad, hyla, that is tree frog. The next type, that is Reptilia, have dry scales. It has three chambers except crocodile, which has four heart chambers. It are cold-blooded animals and it respirates through lungs and it reproduces through eggs, whereas it is found in land and water. Example is turtles, king cobra. The next type, that is apes and birds, they have waterproof skin which is covered with feathers. They have a beak or bill rather than teeth. Their forelimbs are developed into wings. They have hollow bones or pneumatomatic bones. It has four heart chambers and it are warm-blooded animals. It respirates through lungs, it reproduces through eggs and it's found on land and air. An example of this is crow and pigeon. The next type, that is Mammalia, have skin with hair and sweat glands. It has 4 heart chambers and it are warm-blooded animals. It respirates through lungs and it gives birth to young ones except duck-billed Palathus and Echidna. It is found in land, water and air. Examples of this are human and cats. Talking about animal kingdom, it is divided into 2 types, that is invertebrates called non-chordata and vertebrates called chordata. Invertebrates are further classified into 3 types, that is cellular level, that is called phylum Porifera, tissue level, phylum Cynidria, and third, that is organ and organ system level. Organ and organ system level are further classified into 2 types, that is Ecleomata and Cleomata. Ecleomata, that is no body cavity, have phylum Pelathenimetes and phylum Nematoda. In Cleomata, that is having body cavity presence, have 5th type, that is phylum Animalidia, 6th type, that is phylum Arthropoda, 7th phylum Mollusca, and 8th, that is phylum Echinodermata. The animal kingdom of vertebrates, that is chordata, are further classified into 5 types, that is class Species, 2nd class Amphibia, 3rd class Reptilia, 4th class Aves, and 5th class Mammalia.
Moving toward the nomenclature of living organisms, why is nomenclature required? It will help people identify an organism with a standard name anywhere in the world. The whole hierarchy of an organism is not mentioned in the name. Only genes and species of the organisms are mentioned. Concept of binomial nomenclature was given by Carolus Linnaeus. Conventions for binomial nomenclature, that is gene's name starts with capital letter, species name starts with a small letter, the scientific name of an organism is written in italics while printing, the gene's name and species name should be underlined separately while writing. Some examples of specific name, that is Leo, is called Panthera leo, tiger Panthera tigris, human Homo sapiens, and mango Magnifera indica. By this, we have completed our today's chapter. If you like this video, don't forget to like it, share it, or subscribe the channel to get regular updates of the further chapters. Thank you.